I have some comments on social media. Somebody says, decrease in sexual attraction to your partner can happen when your needs and expectations are unmet. Now, how do you know what your needs and expectations are? Let me give an example of a scenario. A young girl, virgin, never married anybody, never had any sexual relationship, really, really sheltered all her life. She was one of those really well-sheltered girls. And then she becomes 22, 21, gets married to somebody, and they have their life. And she's one of those that she wasn't really out there. So she doesn't know what she's missing. She's with this man, and they are building themselves together, and they are going at each other's pace. Yes. And they are fine. It could be once a month, it could be once, whatever. They just have that connection, and they're building that on a solid rock. 5 years down the line, she's watching Oprah. She's watching DSTV. She's watching cable. And she's seeing all these people are talking about, every day, this is something wrong with you. The man, you know. And she's thinking to herself, am I not supposed to be having this every day? What is going on? Or is my man not doing this to me? He's only missionary me, I know. I don't know any other way, you know. And she's now, society, the world is suggesting to this pure child that, auntie, there should be much more in this situation than what you're experiencing. And then she's thinking, so that's what I'm saying, that is it that those people who are content with once a year, once every 3 months, their voices are being drowned in this cluster of voices saying that all of us must be doing every day or 2 days, because one scientist in America said, if you don't have it this time of the days, there's a problem with you. I mean, that's my question, because there are people surviving perfectly okay without it. And I'll say it again, I'm happy with Julie's on Tuesday, because she would have shouted me down. But God just said she would be on break today. But, I mean, that's my point of view. When? Okay. Yeah, well, Mariam.
Okay, so this point of Mariah, you have just couched it so well. You've made a case for it. And I want to... Yes, and I want to listen to it. Yes, and the thing is, we need to listen to it. I always believe that nothing is as we see it. You have to be able to look into another person's life and see it from their own perspective. So with the way you have put it, I understand that that is a possibility. But because we are growing and developing people, evolving, I think that you would develop an increase in your marriage, even if you don't get the outside opinions, even if you don't get the outside pressure, even amongst yourself. If you meet in your 20s, there are things you try out in your 20s. We know now, by the time you're in your 30s and you're still married, there are things you will still figure out. You're not even reading books, you're not listening to anyone. Your body figures it out. You would want more. And as you said, physiologically, women, at the time they get to their 40s, they are peaking. So all of a sudden, you are wanting more, and your husband is thinking, what's happening here? And then you read the books about, it's natural for me to want more at this place. So you're working towards it. So my only fear about this, your narrative, is I hope it's not coming from a place for someone who really isn't exposed, who really hasn't had the pleasure of being pleasured and has accepted it. You know? And then one day you find out, and then all this, your theory now falls apart. Because now, is this what they were talking about? Now I see. So now it's not because this is how we work. It's because I wasn't being met where I wanted to.
Now I know there's a need.
Now
just like I took recently about the trainers, and you go to the gym. You are a regular person. You now go to the gym. Trainer is now holding you like this, and you're like, which feeling?
Wait,
really?
What is that?
This tingling that is happening. What's going on here? And then your eye open. This thing can be like this. I get that.
A whole new world. Okay, so I'm going to start from we all evolve, just like what she said. In every relationship, in every adult's life, we all evolve. Okay, you can't tell me that the BSc you had some years back, you know, you never desired to have more. And that's why you've had masters, PhD, and all of these things. You're growing. So people also grow in that department, all right? But the problem now is when someone is growing, the other person is not evolving. Or the other person wants to stay the same way. And I mean, I want to experiment. I want you to do it this way, say it that way, feel it this way, feel it that way. And you are not, you're just comfortable.
Like, this is what I know. Let's
exactly
reinvent the wheel here.
Exactly. So that is where you know, problem begins. And I've had friends, sadly, whom had been in that space of 2 years, 3 years, nothing is happening.
I say sadly, they're not complaining to you.
No, they are. That's why I said sadly.
Okay.
That's why I said sadly. They're okay, you know, with, or the other partner is okay, or they're okay with, you know, because there are fundamental issues in that relationship. You know, and they're like, I beg. That one is not my problem for now. Because you have someone who is not paying the bills. You have someone who is ungrateful for a partner. Yeah. And, you know, the first thing you want to think of is not, okay, let's get down to Jerusalem. Yeah. There is no Jerusalem here, you know. So, sometimes where you have people who are comfortable, you know, with, let's just be pushing this boat. There are issues, okay? And there are some people that they're very comfortable, that they were never scientists in that experimental fit.
From this conversation, I'm just taking away that these two truths can exist. That there are some people that will have it as often, and for them, a daily expression of that is their life, and that's how. And then there are some people that is not a daily expression of their love. It does not determine their success or happiness. They are happy. There are no underlying issues. It's just the way they have always gelled and always lived with each other. Right. You know, sometimes as women, we discuss some things. You hear some people describe their intimate life, and it's like it's happening. Things are breaking apart. And then you are like, really?
And Hollywood is not helping.
Yes.
Hollywood will see you in the kitchen, in the this, and I think, what's going on here?
Yes, well, is this really how it should be? And you have tried and tried. And even when you even tried that way, you're like, I'm tired.
Exactly.
I'm not going to do this again. Please, stay away from me. Yeah. You know? So there's something I've used with someone before. I say, different keyholes with different keys. Yeah.
If it doesn't
don't compare yourself.
Right.
Pick your lane and stay there and work it.
Absolutely.
But as long as you're sure and confident that that's where
you are. Let's go to the point where Gwen made about the men. Let's talk about the men for a second, because there's some times where there are issues, just like you said, that causes it. So when a man feels his spouse is no longer attractive, how does he get it back? You know, there's always that part of, can you get attraction back? Can you find somebody who you were both of you were together? You know, yes, she's had 6 children, she's done this, she's changed, but you don't feel that spark isn't there. It happens to women too. Women too feel like you have a pot belly now, the hair on your chest is now white, it's not, you know, it's not like, you know, it wasn't like black silky before, now it's white.
Balding.
You're balding, your nose is widening up, you're not looking like the man I'm married, you know? So how do you get that attraction back? I know we're not therapists here, but those things happen where you just feel like it's totally, it's not there. You're forcing. You know how women, many women fake it. A lot of women fake it. We fake it. A lot of us, let me not say, a lot of women out there, a lot of them fake it.
Not us,
they always fake it. They give you everything to make you see that you're doing that, but there's nothing happening. They've come down in K2, they didn't meet you to Jerusalem. they didn't follow you to Jerusalem. But how do you get the spark back?
Okay, sorry, but before, let me just take a little detour. There is a young lady that was talking to me for an advice, and she said, there is this guy, he was quite suiting, everything is all going fine, great, he's ambitious, great career, treats her like a king, a queen. But the issue there is, she said he's not romantic, you know, and he's too rigid and all of that, and said he hasn't broken his can yet.
Hasn't broken his what?
The can.
What does that mean?
What does that
or
mean?
the bottle has not been broken.
Okay.
So he's still green.
Virgin.
Yes.
Oh, that's so cute. A man virgin.
I thought
that is wonderful.
And I think it's 35 or thereabout. Oh yes.
Oh, wow.
You know, I thought it was cute, but then because I know where she's coming from, I was like, no way.
Okay, she's an expert. She's been there.
She's not exactly an expert, but she's been there. She's been there, you know, and you know she believes in celibacy and all of that.
Exist. 35.
Yes, 35. fine.
Oh, that is fantastic.
But, you know, she wants them to have, she's been celibate, you know, for quite a long time. But you see, my issue is she's been there, done that. And your experience, the experiences, they don't tally, they don't match. There are so many things that I feel this guy shouldn't do that he's doing, or he should do that he's not doing. The expectations.
Thank you, Gwen, for that.
So
that
in
angle,
that area, why marry such a person?
You can. Someone's going to marry him. He's got to marry. So
if you're not ready to tutor, how many of us are ready to tutor?
It has to be a woman who is willing to tutor and teach, and a man who is willing to learn. But someone's going to marry him.
Yeah.
And then you say, okay, carry your hand this way.
I was going to say,
teach.
Why do you think it's a problem? Is it because it's the man in this case? Because historically, usually men would marry virgin women.
Yeah.
And they would figure it out until she figures it out.
Men are usually leaders. Some of us women like the men to lead.
Because it's a breakfast show, let me see how I'll count. There are some women who may not be leaders on the outside, but they are leaders
in that area.
So sometimes the roles are reversed in there.
But a man virgin is an interesting topic to talk about.
Yes.
I just feel...
Especially for the male.
Okay, so for me, I feel that a man virgin, as you're saying it, would, knowing that he's going to be with a partner who's done it, will be excited by it.
Yeah.
He will be excited to be led and be tutored and be shown the ropes. I don't think it's such a...
It could be tedious.
Except if there was deceit from the beginning. If he expected that he was going to be marrying someone different than what she presented herself to be. If he thought, oh, I thought you said you had never done it as well. We're starting together on the same blank slate. But now I see that you have done it. So that deception can cause a problem. But I already know that you have been there and you've decided to be celibate for a while. I'm excited. I believe our male callers will tell us, I believe you'll be excited by the prospect of learning all these things that you have already learned, and we're doing it together in the home. I don't think it will turn
Let's flip it now for women, because I want us to leave this conversation teaching some people or helping some people out there. There are women who also have demands, they have needs, they feel like they have needs. Just like you said, they have experience, and maybe the spouses, the person they married, didn't have as much experience. There are people that are married to men of God, who are married to imams, who feel like most of the time is praying, they don't want to... It's true. They are married to people who believe that 90% of the time you must be on the mountain, you must be spiritually, you know, inclined. You cannot continually be...
In the heavens of heavens.
Yes, you cannot continually be in the mood for that, or feel that the feeling is such that it's so demonic, it's so worldly, you know. So, and in fairness to them, this was what we grew up thinking, that don't do it too much. And society seems to be okay. But now that we allow everybody this liberty to just think and to explore and to constantly think about it, everywhere we are seeing it all over the place. Maybe that's the problem. Maybe we should go back to where this issue of intimacy is so sacred. It's not something you just talk about. It's a thing you do, you schedule it. Okay, this is the time for it.
But you know why it's become something we talk about? Because, especially with women, we found that many women were repressing their natural feelings. Women were always told that, oh, once you have your children, you would have no feelings. Meanwhile, when learning that a woman is peaking in her 40s, that what you saw in the 20s is small. She's about to hit some levels that you'll be, you know, that would scare you. So that's why that conversation, that's why we have this conversation. And people are realizing, and then men are saying, well, but if you don't say anything, how would I know? And that's what we have encouraged. Yes, maybe now we've taken a little too far, but we cannot, people are not silent because we want to be able to say, I told you what my needs are.
Right.
So you cannot hide behind the, I'm not sure, you didn't say anything. So that's why it's you know, it's as open as, it is now.
Let me take it, Gemma, calling from the UK. Good morning, Gemma.
Good morning.
You're live. Thanks for calling.
Thank you. I just want to contribute to the conversation.
Please do.
Funny enough, I do find this conversation very interesting because I married my husband when he was 35 as well.
Okay.
So I was experienced, so I had to teach him.
Okay.
And he was ready to learn. So I think it's just a situation whereby and both of you understanding each other and knowing what you want to achieve as individuals, and then coming together in marriage. Like you usually say, Mariah, marriage is for mature people.
Exactly.
It's actually for mature people.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, Ijema. You know, there's some men that are not calm enough to learn. They want to feel like I know it. Why can't you be teaching me? What do you know? You know, because there are men like that who just feel like, don't teach me anything. I'll do it when I want to. I'll do it. And they even do certain things. And see, women have not been able to, have not been taught to express their needs. Yes. And we find it difficult. So instead of being intimidated by him or his aggression, you just accept your fate and just calm down. And just find the way to meet your needs elsewhere. Not in a bad way, but just find other things. Exert that energy on your kids or your business or something else with work. But because a lot of men are not humble enough to say, I don't understand this thing. How can I, how do I, they don't feel the need, the importance of making sure that they're okay. So the women tried, when they realized that the man is not coming through, instead of me complaining and lamenting, let me find out, figure something else. Find a way to cope.
You know, that was why I said earlier on when I cited the young lady, and my take on that, you know, for her was settle for what you can handle. It's not all of us that are good teachers. And I don't want to, for me, I don't want to be totally, you know, seen as your mother in this relationship. I want to be seen as your wife, because you now saying for me to teach you how to carry your head, your neck, okay, flip your head this way, you know.
What is head and neck story?
It's sometimes too much for some people. No, if you have the grace for it, do what you have grace for. Do you understand? And then you're also going to be asking yourself, she said something, is this man someone that you can teach? Does he have that teachable spirit? Is he humble enough? You know, especially in that department.
So
men like to feel like they are heroes.
Yes.
You know, like, I'm
Let's give you comments on social media. We really need to get our viewers involved here. I'd like to hear
It says, relationship in marriage can't work without sexual intercourse. Intercourse
helps
to create synergy and more understanding between couples.
Okay.
Correct says, intercourse is one of the key reasons why relationship is essential at adult or maturity age. Intimacy, enlightenment, awareness between men and women is one of the reasons why relationship... Okay. And we have someone saying, Mariah is carrying me to where I haven't dreamt of. Imagine, you know, different kind of information here.
Okay, I think we're good with
Wolabi, let me take this one, says, intimacy is a requirement in marriage. People are different from each other. Some can do away with it, some cannot. Know yourselves, respect yourselves. Boundaries should not be excessive and should not harm the other party.
I think that's a good way to wrap up. But any final words? Gwen, I'll let you say a few things. Thank you so much for joining us. I think in a nutshell, what we're saying is that it's communication between both spouses. Many people are, one of the objectives of this talk today is to give a voice to those who are happily married without excessive intimacy. But it doesn't mean that it is wrong. Intimacy is important. Scientists have told us is important for couples to continually have a healthy dose of it. What is healthy is not dependent on each group or each partnership, but it's important for those who are not having it to also have a voice and say, you know what, let's not overrate this matter. Some people are perfectly fine. I really hate to believe that the GOs are still doing this thing at this time. I don't want to think about it. But I really believe that, you know, they aren't. But either way, it's all about communication and relationships. We have to wrap up. Tell us a bit about what you're working on, because you're our guest co-host. Let's give you a few minutes to tell us about your book, what you're doing, and what plans you have.
Okay, so for my book, it's more like, you know, one of the latest projects I'm doing. I'm also working on a podcast that is supposed to, or a vlog, you know, on YouTube that is supposed to come up maybe in the next 3 months by God's grace. But for my book, we've done the Lagos State launching, and we're moving to Ibadan soon, I think by next month. Abuja, some other places. But I think I'm very passionate, you know, about people having that safe zone mentally, whether in your relationship, in your marriage, in your at workplace, with people you feel comfortable. By the way, you ladies, you know, you make me feel comfortable. From the moment we saw earlier on, thank you very much, thank you. And, you know, it's very important that you have the right perspective mentally. So that's one of the things I'm driving.
There was something I read in your book about gratitude lists. It helped you when you feel depressed, because at the time, according to your book, we went through a season of depression. Just a lot of us go through that season. No matter what level you are in your life, at some point you're faced with depression, something depresses you, but we fight really hard not to get into, get further down the hole.
Right.
You said that your friend helped you to put together a gratitude list that helped you to remind you, and I think BC also does it all the time, where she writes a list of things she's grateful for. She has a way to go say it. How did that gratitude list help you to find hope?
Okay, so it's more like you have two things. You're focusing on this because you're focusing, and I can't see what is right there. You know, I can't even see what is in the content. Okay, so I'm just focusing on the fact that this is not working, all the bad energy, that's all I'm focusing on. So what gratitude does for you is to broaden your mind, you know, focus on other things. For instance, I can see the moment if my head is down, I can't see you, I can't see her, I can't see any other person. But the moment I lift up my head as form of gratitude, I see other people, and I can actually appreciate, oh, Mariah, you have something, your glasses are lovely. It broadens your mind, and it takes away a lot of negative energy.
Well done. Congratulations on your book.
Thank you.
Okay, I think that's all we can take on today's show. I hope you enjoyed the show as we have. Have a great weekend. We'll see you Monday. Bye for now.
Stay tuned. Your View will be right back.